All right, YouTube. So today's video, we're making something very different. So if you're here for the first time, please subscribe and go through some of the content that's already been here after you watch this video. So in this video, we're going to talk about something that you are not going to get on other YouTube channels. Most of this, what I'm about to share today in this video, are things that you would probably work on with a actual mentor, be it for filmmaking, be it for photography. This is not something that you see in a lot of like books that you can just read and become really good at it. It takes practice. It takes a little bit of guidance, and the better student you are of this, the better your work is going to be. The better the outcomes are going to be. So what is the topic? This one little secret, or this trick, if you want to call it, or secret, if you master this, you will change your photography and your video game forever. This also applies to video, so it's not just for photography. So what I'm about to share with you here is going to be something priceless if you actually do something with it. If not, it's just going to be another video that you're going to have spent some time watching, and then you're just going to go about your business. Everything's going to be beautiful. So let's get into the video. What is the video about? Just like how we have auto ISO in cameras, which is, the gain of, sensitivity on the sensor. Just like that, we also have something called auto white balance. Auto white balance is probably making your images, in most cases, and I'm going to tread carefully here because we have a lot of people that are very fascinated by their brand because they have this loyalty to the brand, and every brand sees this differently. But the problem is how do you see it? That's what matters, right? Typically, auto white balance in most cameras are going to try to get you based on a 18% gray type of situation. And a lot of the times, it's going to try to find a common ground on the frame. So if you're looking at this entire frame all the way here, we have many different lights going on, many different colors going on. So auto white balance, what it does is it actually will sit there and say, this little guy back here is actually white. I'll take something close to here and just maybe generalize for the rest of it. And typically that's usually, to be honest, wrong, right? That's not what your eyes see. When your eyes look at that situation or that frame or whatever it is in front of you, you see something different. A lot of times, auto white balance will make your images either too cool, meaning it has that bluish type of tone, it has that pure whitish pale look to it. Or it's going to have a very orangish, yellowish tone to it when it really can't figure things out. But newer cameras are pretty good. They can try to balance it. Why am I having this conversation? There's something in a photograph that you probably have heard the commonly used term. There is soul in this photo. There is emotion in this photo. This photo moves me. This video captured my heart, right? What does that mean? So from a photo perspective, that means that whatever storytelling you're trying to do through your photograph or your video, it's not just the story, it's also how it feels. So if I take all of these colors and I mute them back here and just make them like boring, perfect color science type of thing, you'll watch the video, you'll be fine. But there's no emotion and there's no feeling in it. But if there's warmth in it and you can see the actual color of this light and the color of this one up here and then the color of that one way down there, And you start to get the feel of, hey, Amar sitting here, he has this on his face. This is how he looks in this light. It moves you, right? If I do this now, I'm going to show you, because I want you guys to really understand what white balance actually does to your photos and videos. It can actually destroy it, completely destroy the feeling of it, completely. So whatever the white balance is right now, today, just by me doing this one thing, which is turning that light right there off, the overall auto white balance of this scene has changed. Because your auto white balance right now will sit there and say, I don't have to worry about that one anymore. Only worry about this one and this guy back here. That's it. And obviously this light up here. It's going to be a very different reading on auto white balance. But through that, there's one thing that you actually missed out on, and I'm going to share with you once I turn it back on. Now it's back on. The actual color of the scene and the actual skin color of mine has not changed one bit. I'm still the same color skin, because this light up here is really not falling back here or back there very much. But your auto white balance is going to sit there and reevaluate this entire scene and say, oops, it changed. I'm going to change it. So what happens to the emotion of your photograph or your video? It destroys it. So why am I having this conversation? This is very, very, very important to have. I use a tool, and I don't expect you to use a tool, but before I even get into the tool, I want to tell you what it's doing to your photos. When you kill the emotion in a photo or a video, you are no longer able to tell that story the same way. I'll give you a scenario. Let's say you photograph or you video a house burning. Okay? It's burning. Your eyes can see the fire, the reds, the oranges, the yellows just on fire. And then you see the blue, where the flame is the hottest. Your eyes are seeing all of that, the scene. And then you have beautiful trees and everything around the house. Let's say the house is burning. Okay, this is a dramatic thing, but it forces you to think. So think with me. Let's just think the house on the street is burning. And this thing is lit up. And it's surrounded by beautiful trees, beautiful driveway in front of it. And you're trying to photograph it and or even take a video of this. Your camera most likely is going to try to cool that image down. Meaning it's going to start bumping things, right, in certain directions of the color temperature, because of the color temperature that it's seeing of the fire and all this stuff. And it's going to find some bright areas and it's going to say, ooh, that looks close to white, 18% gray, blah, 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 bada bing, bada boom. We'll shoot it at, I don't know, 4,500 Kelvin. I just made that up. 54, 53, 5,600 Kelvin is more close to, daylight, sunlight. However, there are many moments that you have, like especially if I was photographing a burning home, I would probably shoot it at, 6,500 Kelvin. Why would I do that? It would bring so much more drama into it that my eye sees, because when a house is burning, your emotions are on fire. They're not cooled down, they're on fire. You're feeling certain things. You're seeing that redness of the fire in your eyes just resonating. So warming up the scene more and giving it that punch can change your photographs and your video forever. And how it makes the person viewing the story that you're trying to tell, be it a photograph or a video, feel. A lot of people don't understand this. If you shoot JPEG and you're relying on auto white balance, you're kind of SOL. You shoot RAW, you're still kind of SOL, but you have to spend some time editing and you have to learn editing. What does this mean? If you don't understand it, at least with RAW, you have the ability to learn something. With JPEGs, you have to work on it and master it. Once you master it, what does it do? It does two things. Number one, when auto white balance does its thing, a lot of the times you lose color, you lose contrast, you lose the actual fidelity, the life of, that image or that video. You have to understand that. So when you shoot RAW, yes, you can go punch up things, but this takes a lot of time and it's a little bit of coloring skill. And if you don't have that skill, that can be a problem. So either you learn how to become a really good editor, or you become a really good photographer or a cinematographer or a videographer, whatever you want to call yourself. Very important, right? And lenses portray different types of colors. So each lens has a different color palette that it will actually send through over to the sensor. No two lenses, even by the same brand, are almost identical. Some of them are. They are matched sets that you get for video work, and they're very expensive. That's for that very reason, because it's a matched set. So when you put them on, you get the same rendering across the board, regardless of the focal length that you pick. So you have to start understanding what is it that you're trying to portray, no matter what that photograph is. I'll give you another scenario, and then I'll tell you about this little tool. White balance. Back to white balance. Let's say you're actually in the Serengeti. Like everyone wants to go to a safari, and they have all these big fancy lenses, and they do all these things. A lot of people shoot JPEGs. A lot of people shoot RAW. Then there are a lot of people that shoot RAW plus JPEG. So if you do the plus JPEG, why not make your JPEGs come alive with the way you want it to look? Right out of the camera. That takes a little work, and you have to think through it. What does that mean? Let's say you're shooting a lion grazing at sunset. Same example again, sunset, right? Are you going to increase your auto white balance? So when you do that at sunset, most likely your auto white balance is going to hover somewhere around 4,000, maybe it might hit 5,000. But if you shoot a sunset at 7,500 or 8,000 Kelvin, now the warm glow of the sun over the horizon, over the lion's face, just brushing over its hair, that sunlight just comes alive. I hope you can visualize this with me. That's storytelling when you actually take photos. If you're not doing that, you're just a picture taker. At 30 frames per second, you cannot do that. You have to be intentional. If you're not intentional about your photos, don't expect people to sit there and value from the heart. They'll tell you it looks really nice, but really, honestly, it didn't really move them. But they'll do it because they know you're their friend, whatever the case might be. Okay? So don't do that. Now that same situation happens where the sun has almost set and it's gone, and you really don't have that beautiful pink sky anymore. It's kind of gone. But you have a little bit of light falling out onto that graze across, all of the fields of and the desert. It could be a desert. It could even be, a jungle. That same lion now is sitting there. Now you don't have the sun to actually help you kind of get an idea. Now what are you going to do with that auto white balance? Because if you do that auto white balance, it's probably going to start pushing it closer down to about, maybe, I don't even know, 2,000 Kelvin, somewhere in that range. You have to bring some of that back, because if you don't, you will lose the warmth in the image that still exists in the atmosphere. So when you're telling a story, Let's say you're looking at a cafe in Italy. You're walking by. It's at nighttime. There's a cafe that's lit up. There's like, let's say there's like a little walkway with no light, and then there's a couple of people just talking back there with a light in the back, a tungsten light, different kind of lights. When you typically don't set the white balance correctly, it won't look right. The auto white balance is actually going to sit there and say, this is what's happening, something like this. Hey, I'm just going to think it's about 30, maybe 4,000 Kelvin. Okay, I'm going to just shoot it at that. You should be happy with that. You can take that same scene, I'm losing my train of thought, and then let's say you have one of those newer LEDs, like, so you have like a gas light bulb, and then you have one of those new LEDs and all that's going on. So this is a little bit warmer, that's a little bit cooler. How do you tell a story? You still want it to look good. I would probably shoot that scene more closer, intentionally, to about 5,000, 5,300, 5,400, close to daylight. The reason why is because it takes this other light and really brings life out of it. So if you don't understand that, sometimes these very cool bluish, greenish looking, photos, they don't look good. But a lot of people, when they don't understand how to work with white balance correctly, what do? They become natural light, black and white photographers. That's what a lot of people do, because they don't understand how to see color. And if you can't represent color the way your eye sees it in your photos, you will never bring emotion, you will never move anyone, and secondly, your work is going to get undervalued. By yourself too, because you'll look at it and say, yeah, it's nice, but that's not how it looked, man. You know very well in your mind what your eyes are seeing. It's like, it looks good, but it's just like, it's too white. It's too cool. It doesn't have the warmth of the lights, the street lights, the atmosphere, the reflections off of these little light bulbs, the light bulb that I just mentioned off of the other buildings, those kind of things. So very seriously think about this. This tool tells me exact color. Now, are you going to take this out everywhere you go? No. If it's a controlled environment, yeah, you're shooting a wedding, whatever, fine, no problem. Put it on a little, stand if you want, wherever you want, and it will continue to read. You can get the readings onto your phone, and you can punch in the exact. What's happening? I don't touch my white balance. I know what it is because this has already told me exactly what it is. Right, to the T, with all these lights that are there. But you don't always have this with you. So play with the emotions and try shooting RAW plus JPEG so you can make those mistakes, because if you know that you can correct it with RAW, you will never learn the game of white balance. And just like getting off of auto ISO, get off of auto white balance if you can, and master your photographs. Because if you don't, your story, it might be left half untold. You might think you're telling the story, but it doesn't really convince the audience on the same emotion you felt, because the photograph that you're actually portraying is not showing that. So I hope this video actually helps you. It's very different kind of video. You're probably not going to see too many videos like this out there, because a lot of people don't talk about this because they don't actually practice any of this stuff, because they want to shoot 30 frames per second auto white balance and blow their brains out, and 30,000 shots later they blame the camera for something that they should have controlled from the beginning. So if that's you, this video isn't going to make no sense to you. But if you're truly looking to take this into your own hands, take your photo video journey to the next level, regardless of the camera you have. Most cameras today have the ability to actually alter white balance and change it. Learn to use it, play with it, and come up with very creative ways to do stuff. And you'll find that certain things just don't look pleasing to the story that you're trying to tell. And it's about your story, not my story, not someone else's story, your story. So go out there and show your story in full color, full contrast, full bloom, so people can be moved and we can actually make this world a better place. So with that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other, go out there, create your magic, and I will talk to you in the next one. Thank you.